Hi, and welcome to another episode of Undusting. Your host is John Bond, also known as Dagger on many of his platforms. Now, I hope you have a good evening tonight. This game is called. Got to stuff this up, but I'm good. We have a good shot at it anyway. Oknytt? I don't know. Possibly. All right, let's start again. New game.
Hello, fellow traveler. Did you lose the trail? Come, have a seat by the fire. This is no night to be wandering these woods alone. You see, this is a special night, one rarely seen. Let me tell you a story to make the hours pass, one not many know of and even fewer believe to be real. What do you see in this piece of stone? Yes, it is small, not much to look at, and to most, not of any particular use. Yet it is not of irrelevance to the story that I am about to share with you. You see, every 100 years or so, a strange event occurs. As the days grow short and the nights long, a night darker than others ensues. It is said that when the moon leaves the sky, as darkness envelops the land and the stars awaken, you can hear the sounds of being rarely seen. And if one lingers in the dark shadows waiting for sight to return, things that any other night would seem to be one thing appear to be another. It was during a night like this that a small, in the scope of the world, insignificant creature with no name was born.
What is this place?
The insignificant creature without a name wondered as it emerged from the ground and began to explore the dark world.
What was I doing below those stones?
The creature wondered, standing next to the hole it just crawled out of. In the middle of the clearing, there was a mound of stones that seemed to have concealed something. Stuck between the stones were two branches tied together to form a cross. The stones were too heavy for the small creature to move.
What a beautiful place!
The small, insignificant creature thought to itself, admiring the reflected glow of the stars. The creature tried to collect some of the cold water, but was unable to keep the elusive liquid in its hands. There was a small spring in the clearing, reflecting the night sky. In the middle of the spring, you could see the reflection of a large star. Something about this star seemed different from the others around it.
There are so many of them.
The small creature thought while gazing up into the sky.
I wonder how such small things can shine so brightly.
The sky had a strange feeling to it that night, almost as if the stars themselves had come to life, trying their hardest to make up for the absence of the moon's glow. No matter how hard it tried, the small creature couldn't reach any of the stars.
This way.
I wonder why this one is so small. Could it be that Alvor vary in size?
The creature wondered. while trying to imagine a small gathering inside of the ring. At the edge of the woods there was another circle of mushrooms, seemingly too small to dance in. Some believe that certain alv circles hold the power to transport alvor and people alike across vast distances. It is believed that circles of mushrooms spring up when alv appear to join one another in dance. If an unlucky man or woman should join them in their dance, they would find that time passes faster within the alv circle, and years may go by while they are engrossed in a few moments of joyful dance. The small creature thought about taking one of the mushrooms, but they didn't look all that tasty. The small creature thought of... It is believed that circles of...
I wonder why this one is larger than the other one.
The small creature said to itself while pondering the reason for its size.
Do I look like this on the inside?
The small creature wondered, looking hard at the bones, trying to make out their original positions. In the circle laid a pile of bones. The creature searched the ground for anything useful. Amongst the shattered bones, one piece seemed to be sharper than the others. A large stone could often be found at the center of alv circles. How they got there, no one seemed to know. In some of the stones there were holes, said to be surrounded by strange symbols. These holes could be used to summon and gain boons from alvor by presenting them with a gift. On the other hand, if the offering was not to their liking, the boon would instead turn into misfortune.
Is there really someone strong enough to move a stone like this?
The creature looked at the large stone, its eyes filled with fear and admiration alike. Reaching into the hole, the small creature felt something flat, round and hard. As it removed the object from the hole, it saw that it was an old coin. On the ground there was an old grinding stone, partially buried in the dirt. It looked to have been left there a long time ago.
I wonder why someone would leave this here, although it does look a bit heavy.
The small creature thought to itself. The small creature barely managed to pick up the heavy grinding stone. As the small creature explored its surroundings, tiny drops of rain began to fall from the dark sky. Suddenly, as the small creature stood silently next to the large stone, beautiful glowing beings joined in dance appeared out of the darkness. The creature beheld them in awe before they, just as quickly as they appeared, vanished into thin air, seemingly unaware of the small creature who so longed to reach out to them.
Go back. Sound disturbing. Oh, strange sound.
The field looked to have been sown quite a while ago, yet nothing had begun to grow.
The farmers must have worked hard to make this field.
The small creature thought to itself.
I wish their crops would start growing.
The dry soil crumbled as the small creature watched the dark shape of the windmill.
What a tall building!
It thought.
What wonderful things would one be able to see from up there?
In the distance, you could barely make out an old windmill used to mill the grain harvested from the fields. The windmill was too far away for the small creature to touch it. On a hill beside the field there was an old house, which looked to have been the home of many generations of people tending the land. The small creature quietly watched the house.
I wonder what it's like to have a place to call home.
The small creature, although curious, decided not to approach the farmer's house in fear of being seen. In the middle of the field there stood a rugged scarecrow, seemingly looking up into the starlit sky.
Hello?
The small creature uttered nervously, but the scarecrow remained silent. Touching the scarecrow, the creature could feel the dry hay prickling it through the burlap. As the small creature moved closer to the fireplace, it could feel a faint warmth emanating from the coals. The warmth emanating from the coals had almost faded when something seemed to reignite them. The small creature watched the coals for a while, spellbound by their calming glow. The top part of the shaft had been broken and was barely attached to the rest of the tool, now unusable for working the fields.
I think I could break it off.
The small creature said.
The tool doesn't look to be of much use to the farmer anymore.
As the small creature touched it, the top part of the shaft easily came off. Next to the shed laid a pile of moist, old firewood.
It's too bad the farmer didn't move the wood inside after working so hard to cut it.
The small creature thought as it looked at the pile of unusable firewood. The moist firewood was of no use to the small creature. There was an old piece of cloth lying on the ground, seemingly being used as a doormat.
It looks like someone has been wiping their feet on it.
The small creature stated.
Hey!
An angry voice emanated from the shed as the creature was about to pick up the piece of cloth laying on the ground.
I found that. If you want it, you'll just have to bring me something else that I can use.
An old guard stump appeared to have made the shed his home. A guard stump is a being that tends to the farmer's land and tools, watching over the daily activities on the farm to make sure that nothing bad befalls it or its inhabitants.
Hello?
The small creature said politely.
Who are you?
The guard stump looked at the creature.
I'm the one who looks after this place. No simple task, mind you. The master of the farm hasn't been tending to the land enough this season, so I have to make up for his stupidity by working myself to the bone.
The guard stump muttered in a stern yet slightly proud voice. The small creature looked at the guard stump.
I'm not sure. I remember waking up beneath a stone mound, and as I crawled out, the first thing I saw was the stars. Do you know why I'm here?
The small creature asked hopefully.
I see. Beneath the old stone mound.
The guard stump appeared to remember something, becoming quiet for a moment before continuing.
No, I'm afraid I don't know why you were born into this place, little one. Nor do I think there is truly a place for you here at the farm. You should look for a place of your own elsewhere.
The small creature hung its head for a moment after hearing the guard stump's response.
Don't fret, little one. You'll find your place in this world, I'm sure of it. This farm has simply never been that place.
The guard stump was staying inside of the shed, out of the creature's reach. The guard stump let out a heavy sigh.
I've done my best to keep this farm running. So far I've managed to make up for the farmer's neglect of his tasks, but the old worn-out tools make work in the field slow.
The small creature quietly watched the house. As the small creature walked across the field, stalks began to sprout from the wet soil. The rain had caused a couple of the seeds sown by the farmer to grow rapidly, an occurrence you would only be able to see during a night like this one.
I wonder if I grew that fast when I was born.
The small creature pondered. The small creature managed to pick up a handful of oats off the stalks. there was an old kettle covered in dirt laying on the ground. Rays of light found their way down between the boards, revealing a room filled with old...
I wonder what it's like up there.
The small creature thought, mesmerized by the bright light. The small creature watched as elusive particles of dust effortlessly evaded its attempts to grab them.
This looks useful.
The small creature said to itself.
I wonder if I could take it.
The small creature tried to brush some of the dirt off as it picked up the old kettle. One of the crates looked to have been broken long ago, now containing only a few forgotten objects.
Maybe I could find something of use in it.
The small creature thought, its eyes glistening with anticipation. In the remains of the old crate, the small creature found a ball of yarn. A sewing needle had been stuck into an old rug, slightly reflecting the light coming from the ceiling.
I should be careful not to touch the pointy end.
The small creature stated. The small creature picked up the sewing needle with care, making sure not to hurt itself. In the far corner of the dark room sat an old hustumpt, stroking his long grey beard. These household deities guard the farmers' homes, keeping any unpleasant beings at bay while watching over the daily chores involved in running the household. As the creature approached the corner of the room, a grumpy voice emanated from the darkness.
Who are you to enter my home uninvited? If you came to steal, know that a meager creature like you would be no match for me.
In the dark corner sat an old hustumpt, staring at the creature.
Please forgive me.
The small creature responded anxiously.
I didn't mean to disturb you. I was simply curious about this place. I'm lost, you see.
The hustumpt looked at the creature for quite a while before breaking the silence.
Well, you certainly don't look capable enough to be the thieving kind,
he muttered to himself.
But if I find that you conspired with him to steal my hat, you will be sorry you revealed yourself to me.
The hustumpt became quiet for a while, seemingly calming down.
Although perhaps I could be persuaded to part with a couple of my belongings in return for something to calm my hunger. After all, most of these items have been gathering dust down here for as long as I can remember. But don't bring me anything fancy. I don't like brown nosing. Anything that will take care of my growling stomach will do.
The hustumpt did not seem to want the small creature to move any closer.
No, that's not how it happened. No. No, that's not how it happened.
That's not how it happened. No. No, that's not how it happened. The small creature filled the kettle to the brim with cold water. On the ground there was a wooden bowl filled with what used to be flowers of vibrant colors, most likely gathered and forgotten long ago. The small creature looked at the old forgotten plants.
I wonder if they ever got the chance to be appreciated for their beauty.
The small creature carefully picked up the bowl along with the dried flowers. No. The warmth emanating. The small creature hung the water-filled kettle above the fireplace. The water inside the kettle had been heated by the warmth emanating from the coals.
I should be careful not to burn myself.
The small creature thought as it could feel the heat coming from the kettle. The small creature carefully removed the hot kettle from the fireplace. There was an old piece.
It looked...
Hey,
The guards. A pair of wooden cartwheels had been partially buried in mud over the years.
I wonder why they were left here. Didn't the farmer need them anymore?
The small creature thought to itself.
I wonder why they were left here.
The cartwheels were buried.
no.
Let's go back to the field. Let's see if anything else can be of any use. Sorry for skipping ahead to most of these things.
No.
Let's see what we can do. Or maybe we could go there and maybe we could take that map. But then we could get the cloth food to the scarecrow. Maybe that might be how it works.
You sure didn't hurry now, did you?
The Hustunt muttered.
Were you planning on letting me wait all night after I let you take my belongings?
The small creature looked meekly at the floor.
Well, no matter, this will stave off the hunger.
The Hustunt brought a spoon out from under his thick beard and began to eat.
Since you've already helped yourself to some of my objects, I hardly think a reward should be necessary.
The small creature hung its head as the Hustunt put another spoonful into his mouth.
Fine. Here, I borrowed this from the wretched one. I have no use for it, so you might as well take it. Now go away.
As the Hustunt filled the spoon once more, a long strand of thick silver hair came off and landed on the ground in front of the small creature, who saw no harm in picking it up.
He gave us a whetstone. Okay. What is Witcher? Oh, yes. Yes. I know exactly what we can do. Sharpen the tool right to the tool shaft.
Is that what I think it is?
The guard stomped exclaimed as the small creature approached him.
Is that my whetstone? Where did you find it? I don't even remember the last time I saw it.
The guard stomped let out a sigh of relief.
Thank you for finding it for me, little one. My old worn-down tools have been the only thing standing in the way of me bringing this farm back on its feet.
The guard stomped rummaged around inside the shed.
I'm afraid I can't find much of a reward for you. This old hammer shaft is of good quality, but I seem to have misplaced the metal head. I can't understand how I managed to lose these things.
The guard stomp scratched his forehead as he handed the hammer shaft to the small creature.
Perhaps you can find a use for it, little one. I'm sorry I can't offer you a better reward. Hey,
An angry voice. The cart. The wall. No. Suddenly, as the small creature stood the whole
Is there really?
the stone.
No.
Touch. As the small creature The creatures.
Nope.
The sm-
Nothing really valuable. But some random stones. A little fruit. Wait, magic. We'll just try it.
No. 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 In the fi- The Hustumped. The Hustumped was busy eating.
Go find my hat.
Oh, okay. Find his hat. Finding a hat. Gonna go find us a hat.
The sky had a strange warm. I hope you find your place in this world, little one, the Godstomp said as he watched the small creature. But this farm was never meant to be your home. An old Godstomp appeared to have made the shape. The cartwheels were... No. No. The small creature the small
do. I guess I'll just walk around until I figure out.
the small the small creature the hole a large these holes could be used to summon and get.
Is there really someone?
Suddenly, as the small creature stood, sudden, no, touching
Hello?
in the wind, the sp- no, 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 no.
We have forgotten to do so.
The smoke.
Alright, well, that looks like it's going to be us for this evening. If you want to see more of me play this game, probably because I'm going to try to figure out how to cast this game is
No.
Yes, please let me know if you enjoy this game, and as always, please do not forget to comment and subscribe to this video. Alright, thank you very much, and see you next time.